there, Whovians, and welcome to another episode of Earth Station Who. That's right, folks. We are back, and we're going back to the Big Finish era, and we are returning to the Paternoster Gang. That's right, we're doing Trespassers 2, the Casebook of Paternoster Row. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and it actually had a doctor in this one I was not expecting, and I was actually a little surprised by it. So... It's very subtle, Mel. Very, very subtle. And I like how you did that. And it's going to be a great episode to chat about. And we've got a great crew here, of course, as always. Let's, of course, welcome our guest for tonight, returning once again, Dave Chapman.
I'm back again and happy to be here.
And you don't even have to fill in for anybody this time. It's nice.
No, I'm not the second choice. I'm actually the first choice.
You are our first choice. So it's awesome. How has your 2026 been so far?
Largely uneventful. So good.
That is very good. You know,
nothing outrageous has happened in Canada.
You haven't taken over any countries or anything like that. So
we have not taken over, nor have we been taken over.
That's even better because they might be coming after your Tim Hortons or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Got to protect the Timmies.
Of course you do. Get away from my Timbits. Get away. There you go. And we have a great regulars, of course. All of us are here tonight. Let's, of course, welcome Mr. Mike Gordon.
Howdy.
How are you, my friend? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. I don't know what is in store for us Doctor Who-wise this year. Probably not a lot, but we'll still make it work.
Oh, I think we'll keep it busy with Doctor Who talk, and there's enough material out there for us to, maybe get a little scratching of the Tom Baker era out of the way before new Doctor Who comes back. And so it'll be a ton of fun. But it's great to see you, sir. And of course, Mary Ogle is here.
Hey, everybody, it is fantastic to be here.
Happy New Year, Mary.
Happy New Year.
And of course, last and not least, wearing her Tom Baker Fourth Doctor scarf is Ms. Melanie Dean.
Hello, fellow Whovians. I cannot wait to chat some Who with you.
Happy New Year, my dear.
Happy New Year, and to everyone else as well.
Of course, to our wonderful listener or listeners, it's always great to hear from you guys. And of course, we do have a piece of email to welcome in the new year from one of our favorite writers. And so it's going to be great to hear from Peter later on tonight. So, of course, we'd love to hear from you guys also. Please write us anytime. Feedback at Earth Station Who is the best way to get in touch with us. Definitely would love it. And, if you get a chance, I know it's early into the show, but please like and subscribe. It would be from the bottom of our hearts. We would really appreciate it. And you know what? It would be great because, that's how people find us. That's how we grow. And I just saw our December numbers. And boy, did we get some listeners this last month. So thank you, everybody. We do appreciate you guys. All right. No new Doctor Who news. We're not talking about the ending of the war between the land and the sea because we didn't see it here in the States, and we don't want to spoil it.
We're not talking about the beginning. We're not talking about the middle.
Nope, not at all.
Nope, because we haven't gotten any of it.
No, we have not, and we will not talk about it until Disney gets it or whoever else is streaming it, whatever. So we will definitely,
there's no word on that.
When we get to that point, not a word. So according to the podcast lore that we have here on Earth Station Who, probably about 9:15 tonight Eastern time, Disney will announce when they're going to be showing it. So
this week off the air.
At this point, I don't think they're going to announce anything. They're just going to release it. It's just going to be there. And we'll be like, oh, we had no idea it was there.
The moment that we hear the Zoom lady. The moment we hear the Zoom lady go, recording ended or recording stopped, it's like, bam,
bing.
Check your streaming service.
Exactly. Wouldn't doubt it. Would not doubt it. But yeah, so nothing else is really going on. Nothing, we don't know anything news-wise. We do know we're getting a Christmas special a year from now. And so until then, we'll be coming with different reviews and a lot of different things. And, as we mentioned last time, Mary and I will be representing Earth Station Who at Pensacon in next month. And so we have our panel lined up. We'll give you more information when it's been approved. So, but we will be there. So please stop by, say howdy. We'll have postcards and maybe a few other gifts or something that, might give out during the panel. So please definitely check us out. All right. Might as well jump in with both feet. Let's take a peek at the Paternoster Gang, Trespassers 2, the Casebook of Paternoster Row. And we have 3 stories on this one. We had Anne of 1,000 Light Years by James Kettle. And then we had Paternoster by Gary Russell. Then we had The Gentleman Thieves by Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle. Not bad stories or anything. And I'm assuming this is all our first time listening to this one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And it's interesting because each one, each one of these, ties in with shape changers or, clones or something. And it starts off with Jenny and Vastra coming back from their honeymoon. So, we're going to be,
let's put Jenny in quotes there.
And somebody coming back from their
honeymoon. Yeah. It was interesting with that. I think, because Vastra's reviewing the cases and all about shape changers and clones, it's very interesting. So I have a feeling she suspects something. And it's interesting. God, the chemistry between the 3 leads on this are just, as always, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would have done the spin-off like they had talked about at one point with us.
It would have been amazing. Off the charts.
Yes.
I agree with that to an extent, but I also wonder if it would have been as good as what we've got with Big Finish. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is my favorite Big Finish series. So far, I think all of them have been bangers. None of them have been like terrible. Sure, some are better than others, but
right.
And I think a large part of that is, like you said, Mike, because of the chemistry between the 3 of them. It just, they just wonderfully play off at one another. And like I said, some of the stories are better than others, but they're always solid and fun.
Oh, of course. I think that's the way to do it. And the banter, Dan Starkey is just having so much fun being Strax in these stories. It's just awesome and everything. And I loved in the final story how close to home it hit him and everything because of the clones and everything. So
Strax with emotions. What?
I know. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. No.
Depth of character.
Yes. So it was pretty cool. So let's start with the first one, Anne of 1,000 Light Years, where, what did you get? What were your initial thoughts on that one?
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay. Mary said it. Thank you.
Yep. Go, Mary.
Yeah,
Mary, you go.
We all agree. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're done.
All right,
nothing else to say.
Yes, we do. We do have, because we had a surprise visit in this one. I was not expecting.
I was not expecting that either, actually. That came as a big surprise to me, which was fun. It was fun not knowing what was going to happen.
The cover art has Tom on it, so I knew that we were going to get a 4th Doctor at some point, but I wasn't sure when. So
right.
But yeah, you hear that voice and you're like, oh man! All of a sudden, this just goes to 11.
I'm just
and it's fun too. You're just 4. Right back there with them.
It goes to 4, exactly.
Yeah. It goes to 4.
Yeah, I loved when Vastra just kind of goes, "Oh,
I'm losing track.
Which one are you? I've lost track. Which one are you?"
Yes. And I love how she knows automatically that it's the Doctor. Even shows she hasn't met that one
she
before.
Knows instantly.
Yes. And it's interesting because they play the Doctor in this one very eccentrically, very, very eccentric, even more than normal.
Well, I mean, that's because Tom is probably the most eccentric of all the Doctors.
Yes.
You know, so it
Yeah.
absolutely fits. You know, I mean, bless him. I mean, I know this was recorded a few years ago, but still, he just hasn't lost a step. He's still just fun to listen to, and every line that he says sounds like it just comes from him. It doesn't sound like he's maybe it doesn't. Maybe he is ad-libbing, but it just always feels like everything is just natural.
And even his scenes have a bit of action in it, where, I mean, this was released in 2024, so it's really neat hearing like the energy in his voice when he's going after the security droid, or when even before that, when he tells Vastra that what his plan is to go through walk through the hull of the ship, or put the TARDIS outside, and he's going to go ahead and crawl on the outside of there's in the vacuum of space and do all these action things, and how happy he is about this. Or even when he's like fighting off the furniture, just he feels that same energy of when he was originally playing the Doctor. You're not hearing him being, I guess, when he was recording this, either right at 89 maybe, or already at 90. I'm not sure. But
see, the thing is, to me, I'm going to say this, I thought he sounded old. I thought he sounded a lot, this, because I've heard different audios with him in it, and this is the oldest I've heard him sound. He still had the energy and everything, but he sounded like an old man in this one. And
really, I thought he sounded pretty strong. Yeah, I didn't really get that.
See, I thought, to me, it just, because he has such a rich voice, and how he talks is always like this. He didn't have that to me. It felt.
I mean, well, he did sound older than his glory days.
Yeah. Well, of course. Well, yeah, but he even sounded, he sounded older than the last, when we did the River Song one with him, or some of the other ones that we've heard, because we've heard the one where they did the crossover, where he was going through his past regenerations and everything, and he still sounded the same way. But it didn't take away from the story at all. It was wonderful hearing him, and and he is a treasure, and they need to have a bubble around him constantly. Yeah.
Agreed.
I seriously wondered if they enhanced his voice somehow, because it to me it sounded very strong for somebody of his age. I mean, yes,
he just recorded.
Older.
Sorry, Mary. He just recorded a Christmas greeting to everybody that he released just last month, and I mean, he looks frail, but if you just close your eyes, he still sounds strong and booming, like, to me. I mean, yes, it's not as youthful as it once was, but it's understandable. He's not as youthful as he once was. I'm not as useful as I once was, but so yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, I don't take anything away from that at all. Yeah, I mean, does he sound older? Sure. But does it bother me? No, not at all. It's just wonderful to hear him. And the energy's up. He's just fun to listen to. And his dialogue, or his interaction with Vastra, is great. I don't know if they actually shared a booth together or anything like that. My understanding is that they probably weren't together when they recorded it. But I did know, I did see later on that Nev was really happy that because that's the Doctor she grew up with. Mm-hmm. So this was a very special moment for her to be able to interact with this Doctor in particular. She got pretty emotional about it, actually. And yeah, I can understand that, because I would be too.
Oh, very much so. What did you guys think of the story of this one about the parenting, and that, the daughter was half alien and such? Did you guys like that storyline, or was it just?
It was a very gloopy storyline.
Yes, it was very gloopy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the point. I thought it was a very fun satirical look at, like the Jane Austen-ish type, melodramas. to the point where, I mean, every time, what is her name? Every
Lady
time
Anne.
that
And
every
Anne.
time Anne speaks, of course it's Anne's right in the title. Every time Anne speaks, it's just you just roll your eyes because you're like, wow. I
So
mean,
flowery.
yeah, she's really
she's
playing it up.
yeah, she
Yeah.
really is.
And with
And even the guy who plays the even the lines that are written for the stable boy or yeah, whatever that
Albert.
he is, he's pretty fun too. Yeah, and everybody's just like dialed up. It's like taking a Jane Austen story and dialing it up and to it so that it's exaggerated and really fun. I really I like that too.
Mhm. I
I
almost
actually
thought
thought
it
this
was.
was the strongest of the three stories.
I actually thought, I was expecting him, the stable boy, to go, "As you wish."
I love the scene between Lady Anne and she's going full. I want to say Gone with the Wind, but clearly that's the wrong era. But that flowery, oh my heart, and she's going full Victorian writing era against Strax. Like, I will get the message. Okay, here, take this. Whatever. He's like, oh yes. He's just thinking, yeah, I'm gonna go. Take the head of all those partridges for you in your name.
He's like, I'm
Oh,
going to extract a sample of your DNA, and she's just
Nice.
like, do what you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
First, take this message to my lover.
Exactly. And I loved it. The
right.
message was he was shooting at the stable boy and everything. It's like, why are you shooting at me? I have a message for you.
I'm sending a message. Yeah.
Exactly.
Shut up, I think
They're
at least
they're
twice.
subverting the stable boy though, because he's almost like a Monty Python character, because he's like
Yes.
they're railing against the class system, Jenny is, and he's like, oh no, I love the class system.
Exactly.
I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
How could I
He's
look
like,
down on the
but
people
you're-
below me?
Right. I mean, it's like, but you're already on the bottom, she's basically saying, and he's like, oh no, there's somebody in the village who
Yeah.
I can look down on.
Yeah, that he has to go out there and scare crows, so I can look down on him. Like,
I have to look down on the piss boy. What do you mean?
And having Jenny in particular, boy, Catherine's right. Catherine's
See,
work on
I'm
this
the one
is
who messes
so.
that name. Yeah.
I know Catherine's work on this is so strong, and I really give her. I mean, Big Finish. This series has really allowed her character to really grow and become like sort of like the center of the three. Whereas I think prior to this series anyway, Vastra would always take center stage, but it seems like it's moving more towards, even on the cover art, Jenny is literally in the center, and which is interesting because in the current storyline, it's not really her that's there. So it's really, I mean, this series is all about her in a lot of ways, and I think the actress, all of them are doing a solid job, but I think her in particular is just doing things and showing things that is just so great.
hmm It's interesting. It's interesting because I think they did that. Obviously, they did it purposely because after listening to the first part of the storyline in the last, box set, it was like you were fully expecting them to, find out that she was taken and that it would be the main part of the storyline. Instead, they barely touched on it at all in this.
Yeah,
Which
normally that would be frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you'd be
Yeah.
like, let's move on with the story, the big story, and instead we only get, I think, 5 minutes at the end of the last story that
Yeah.
really
Yeah, I actually did
matters.
find that frustrating.
But you know what? I mean, I'm just there for the ride because I would probably complain if some of the stories here were not great, but they were all so fun to listen to that I was just like, okay,
Well, exactly.
I'm hanging out with my favorite crew. So I didn't mind that as much at all, but I could understand, like, if you're interested in the main story, yeah, this is not a lot happens until the very end. And even that just ends on a cliffhanger. So you have to continue on with the next one to find out what really moves the story forward.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
it's more like I wasn't interested in the main story.
Yeah.
I liked the three stories on their own. They were all good stories. To me, the whole, doppelganger thing, I mean, as far as it related to Jenny, was just like sort of stuck in there. It wasn't really an important part of any of the stories.
No.
So
At the
more of like
very
a
end of the
second
third one, I
thought.
got
Yeah.
confused. I got confused because I was like, wait, what's going on? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had forgotten how the last one ended because my memory is just trash. So it did take me a little while to sort of catch up and go, oh yeah, that's right, that's what happened. And I had kind of had to look at some stuff because I was like, unfortunately, they don't provide any sort of recap on these. And I think I've mentioned that before. I think when these series come out in different volumes, it would be nice if they
Helpful,
included like a little
yeah.
audio like wrap up just in case if people are listening, maybe they just, for some reason, whatever, got a deal on it, got it gifted or something.
Got
This
asked
might
to
be their
review it.
first. Yeah, there might be their there might be their first foray into the Paternoster Gang, and they might be completely lost as to what's going on. So
Previously on the Paternoster Gang.
I mean, it would be very Doctor Who to have a
I know, right?
recap in the beginning.
Exactly.
Recap.
And the recap should be done by Strax, of course.
Oh,
Of
yes.
course, of course.
Oh yeah.
God, yes.
For the love of stories.
Stories.
I don't even fast forward through that because that's so fun to
Yeah,
listen
I
to.
don't
Yeah.
either. I love that part actually.
And I know, we mentioned it before, but the theme song is great too. Like everything is just a winner on this series.
And they can't all be River Song, that's so that's the best
Yeah.
part about it. So yeah, I think that it was a lot of fun and I enjoyed the first story. The second story was great too because you got a little bit more of Vastra's backstory in that one. That she was, before she went into hibernation, she had a task posted on her to get the chef, to get the chef.
To get the
Yeah.
chef number 13 or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it was interesting. Another one I enjoyed. I liked the story and every one of these, just the interaction between them all was great.
Yeah, it's almost hard to talk about them individually, even though they do stand on their own,
Yeah.
but they're all somehow linked together because of the through line of the whole clone,
Mhm.
doppelganger thing. And so they hang together as a whole. And I like that about this. I mean,
Mhm.
without the whole overarching other thing with Jenny, which I think actually just gets in the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the through line through the three of them works really well, and it kind of throws you off at the end when they, dip back into the whole, last 5 minutes of, oh, it's not Jenny.
Right.
I had a
Dun,
hard
dun,
time with
dun. Spoilers, by the way. No.
yeah. No, I had a problem with the transitions in from the main story into the flashback full stories for some
Right.
of them. In Anne of a Thousand Light Years, there was a musical break in there, and that was great. That was a very distinct. Hey, I'm telling a story now.
Mhm.
Right.
Here's the story, and they didn't do that in the other ones. And on top of that, for the second one for Paternoster, you had the sequence where it's back in you know in dinosaur times with
Yes.
Vastra a
Yeah.
thousand years ago,
Mhm.
and then jumping ahead to the main story as well. So it was all over the place with that one, and so I found it a little bit rough. I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I loved but
It was a
it
flashback within a flashback.
yeah, flashback within a flashback, and it was a
Exactly.
little bit wonky.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
felt like I was
valid.
watching an episode of Lost or something with a flashback
Right.
instead of a flashback.
Right.
And to be fair, like I said,
Sideways
I didn't-
now.
I didn't listen to Trespassers 1. So I had no idea of the story, that through line story beforehand, which I knew
Interesting.
that was going to be the case as soon as I went, oh, it's 2. Okay. I'm going to be a little bit lost, but I wasn't because it was largely 3 independent stories.
Yeah.
Right.
So there was I don't, I I don't think it negatively impacted my listening experience not knowing that, but it was just within each story that transition kind of just threw me off because I really like the format when it's done well. The casebook format can be done very, very strongly, and I
Right.
think they didn't quite hit the bullseye with it.
Yeah, I can see that too, and I can concede that. Although I do think overall, Big Finish does have issues with telling long stories and short stories in between. Like we've listened to a few volumes now where of things where like the main storyline is mixed in with these random stories and they just don't gel at all.
Yeah.
And audio wise, it is kind of difficult to, in some cases, differentiate what's going on when. And yeah, it can be really confusing. But I found it less so in this one. And like I said, really, I mean, for the most part, they would keep the current story, if you will, just at the beginning and the end of these. Although I think a couple times it did sort of bleed in, or they interrupted, and then that was jarring. It's like, what are we
Mhm.
doing? Where are we at now? So yeah, I agree. Paternoster was probably the I'd say, like I said, I liked them all, but this was probably the weakest one, I think. It's pretty simple. I mean, really, it could have been just 15 minutes. It doesn't they really stretch this one out longer than it really needs to be. Because come on, we know who it is. Like, I mean, we know what's going on. Like it's pretty obvious from like the get-go, and it just seems to like go on, and you're just kind of like, oh, come on. Like, but having so much fun with the characters, and it's really the one that really gets Vastra to shine in this one. I
Yeah.
think more than the other three. I think Jenny shines in the first one, Vastra shines in the second one, and as someone already pointed out, Strax has his moment at the end of the third one. So I think they all
Right.
get serviced pretty well in these stories.
Oh, agree completely with that. I did like the thought, the whole story, the folks living down in the sewers.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's disgusting to think about,
Yeah.
but, people, I wouldn't doubt if people still do it, but, it's just affordable housing, it's tough,
You
but,
do what you have to do to
Yeah.
survive,
exactly.
During the Victorian
Ex
times.
well, exactly. And, I thought, the whole thing with Oliver Twist and stuff like that, and it's just interesting how the story tied with that era, and it was just like, and the people who were living down there didn't even think anything about it. It's like, this is where we live, where we don't want to be up there anymore, type thing. And you do get used to the smell eventually.
Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, I like this time period a lot. Sherlock Holmes and all that, all the stuff, the great literature that comes from this time period, I eat up like a sponge. And I know I mix my metaphors there, but but from what I understand, there are a lot of places in London street level that don't smell great either. So I don't think it's a really like as big of a come down as it's like it's meant to appear in this
Right. They're
story. Like,
probably all
man, they're
nose blind anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really stinks down here. It's like, yeah, but it didn't really smell that great up there either. Like,
I liked that during the story they had a little nod of, oh, I can't remember the whatever bar it was where the basement was like basically a fighting ring. It was like a fight
yeah,
Yeah.
club.
Yeah.
And that Jenny was like, yeah, I might have done that. It's like, and how much money did you make? Oh, they banned me because they realized they couldn't bet against me. And I'm like, so I was banned. I'm like,
I kept winning, so
Yeah.
get it, Jenny.
Good for you.
You go, Jenny. That is
I
pretty
take it that
awesome.
in all three of these stories, since they're flashbacks, the Jenny that we're getting in these stories is the real Jenny, right?
Yes.
I think that's
Mhm.
that's established, right?
It was
I
pretty
didn't see
obvious.
any hints that it was not really her in those stories.
No, not at all. You didn't get Jenny acting all mysterious or all, argumentative. And
Because I
you
couldn't
had
remember
to,
when she was replaced in the first volume, so I wasn't sure like
it's
how.
right before they go on their honeymoon. I
Yeah,
think.
I
yes.
thought, yeah. So, Yeah, which is a pretty disturbing thought. But
Yes, I tried not to think about the implications
I
of
know, right?
that.
So yeah, so and yeah, I'm glad because yeah, I really thought that they really singled out her fighting ability in each one of these stories too.
Hmm. What did you guys think of the final story with the gentleman thieves?
I really enjoyed it. It
I
was
thought that
fun.
one, it was fun.
And
It
every
was
time that
fun.
Strax said idiot,
Yes.
just punched. And it was
Yes.
great.
I've got the
Are
army
we
of
abandoning
idiots.
the idiot now?
He's like,
Are
I'm
you
right here.
referring to me? No, no, to them.
Yeah. Like it was like you said, Strax really just shines in this one even before you get to the emotional ending for him.
Mhm.
Hmm.
He's every word out of his mouth is always gold, but it was like platinum out of this one.
Yeah. So did they ever
like-
say how they didn't say how they got the cloning machine though in this?
No, they left that as a
Yeah.
mystery.
They left that as a cliffhanger. So
Yeah,
Yeah, he starts to say, and then he gets cut off.
he starts,
Yeah.
and
The
then at
dark.
the end, the police are like, "Don't follow this any further because,
Right, because we're Torchwood, so you should shut up.
yeah, exactly." So, but the idea that we could have a crossover between the Paternoster Gang and Torchwood, I don't think we've had that yet. So that would be intriguing. I would be all over that too, and especially if they got somebody we knew from Torchwood in there. But
Yeah, that could be very cool.
yeah, but it would, I don't think he's doing any audios for Big Finish even anymore.
Yeah,
No.
because
Which
I
is
think
sad.
the only timeline wise, it would have to be Jack.
Yeah.
probably, although they could write some, I mean,
Yeah, they could just
certainly
come up with some other
they just
character.
come
Go.
exactly. So, I think The Gentleman Thieves was a fun story. I think it was ridiculous at times, almost to a Douglas Adams level. The whole idea of making a cricket team of clones was like, I'm like, oh, that could be fun, and but they didn't go full Douglas Adams on it, so they kind of dialed back a bit, and yeah, I thought it was okay, but it's a great. I think this is a great showcase to show that these three characters can interact with stories that are ridiculous, that are compelling, that are action packed, and that are suspenseful and intense, and they can do anything. And you can just put them in any scenario, and they still flourish and they still work. And I'm itching for the next volume, actually.
Mhm.
No. Well, I know.
really like
and
the
then,
cricket team. Sorry.
yeah, the cricket team is awesome. And
Yeah.
it's like, and I like that they're all not as good of jewel thieves as the original was. And it's like,
Yeah,
I
they
wouldn't
keep
have
getting
gotten
worse and worse.
exactly.
Or
So-
to Mike's point with the cricket team, how with the at first like, oh well, I'll have one, and then I'll have 11, and then I'll have subs, and then I'll have he's basically doing his depth chart. I don't know cricket, but that, and then I'm going, but they're all the same, and then I realize, to Michael's point, it's like, oh, this is going too off the rails. Oh, but they're idiots. So,
Yes.
so it's like they wrote this
Right,
perfect little thing of,
right.
oh, we can go completely stupid with this writing wise because we're gonna ready to have our little mulligan right here. Bam! That's because the guy's an idiot. You're like, oh, okay, good.
Well, I loved when they were in the jail and, they went to that warehouse and they were all the clones were there. And it's like, none of them realized each one was the same person. It was
Yeah.
like, why? It's just like,
Yeah, they're clueless. They're just like, oh, it's dinner time. It's dinner time. They don't
Yeah.
even, they're not even trying to escape or
Yeah,
anything.
No.
No.
Yeah, you
No.
don't really get an explanation as to why the more you make the more watered down they are, because according to Strax, that doesn't happen. I mean, it's one of their machines, so it should be just putting out like good copies.
Exact replicas.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't get that either. I don't know if that's something that's coming later or, if that's just going to lead into something else or whatever. But
I kind of took it as a little bit of a cheeky nod of saying why Strax is a little oblivious. and that he is further down on the line, and hence why he can't get human genders, really.
Yeah.
Boy!
That's right, boy.
I must admit, I did not understand I did not get the reference to the literary character A.J. Raffles, who is a gentleman thief that was a cricketer in the 19th, early 20th century stories, which apparently everybody in Britain knows, but I must admit that was a new one for me. So
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea either.
so, but it didn't like, mean it didn't affect my enjoyment of it. In fact, it actually enhanced it because now I'm like, who's this guy?
Now you want to go check out the books.
British literary character from this era that I'm not familiar with. Ooh, tell me more.
That is a trope that appears in British literature a lot, though. The whole gentleman jewel thief thing is used over and over again.
Yeah, it seems like be a European thing because I think of it as like French, really. But
or something like
that. So, but yeah, you get to see that a lot in those stories.
That's kind of like how the jewel thieves just happened in France, and how I don't know if you've seen the meme where there's a photo of some like really young detective showing up, and he's dressed head to toe like some fancy gentleman of yesteryear. I mean, like 100 or 2 years, 100 or so. And the joke was when they were saying this person was like, oh, this is a fancy, the great detective, blah, 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 blah. And everybody in the comment section is like, I know who did it. It was him. He did it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And I also, the password for the security system into the Louvre was the Louvre.
Yeah.
It wasn't guessed, but okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we sure we didn't have
that
clones running this?
me.
Hello tropes. And life imitating art and
Well, so any final thoughts we want to do before we go ahead and rate all of these? Well, we're going to rate it all as one.
Yeah, I think it's
well. Talking about the last 5 minutes, that that does continue the story and kind of move it halfway forward, like half a step forward. We do know now that that Vastra and Strax now know that, or suspect that Jenny is not Jenny. So we know that for sure. And it looks like whoever's coming through the door is going to get blasted. And I mean, it's the real Jenny, right?
It's the real Jenny this time.
Or at least that's the implication.
Yeah. So
I'll get there before them.
So I'm pretty sure it's the real Jenny. So we'll see what happens in volume 3, because volume 3 and volume 4 are currently out. So
yes. Well, it's interesting.
I hope it doesn't take another year for us to review them, but
I don't think it will. It's interesting too, because on the cover for volume 3, it's the second Doctor. So I kind of know, like, they're kind of wondering what kind of shapeshifter they're dealing with, and there's one that they haven't talked about that we know. Anybody who knows Doctor Who thinks of shapeshifter creatures, this is what they think of first. And I did see that there was kind of a spoiler in volume 4 that yes, it is in fact. I don't know if I should say so. Say it. It's a Rutan. No.
It's not Rutan.
It's always the Rutans. It's never the Rutans.
Rutans.
It does appear to be a Zygon.
Oh, shocker. Hey, I'd rather it be a Zygon than chameleon. So there you go.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One call out I want to say for the Anne of 1,000 light years of
right.
One part of that made me completely cackle out loud was Strax, and it's when he shot, and just in the background going, just I'll be fine. My plasma's very dense, and my Sontaran armor is amazing, and I will bleed out in a fortnight. Yes. And then just as they're still going, trying to wrap everything up, he just keeps piping in with, somebody please apply a bandage to me before next Wednesday. And then just little those, just every time, just it really showcased how the writing and these for the main players is just so perfectly tight, and that their timing is wonderful, and just chef's kiss. But yeah, every time he just said that, I was just cackle laughing.
Every
Yep.
time Strax calls Jenny boy, I laugh. I laff out loud every
And-
single time. It never
And
gets
it's the
old for
way
me.
he says it too. Boy.
Yeah, he said boy. Like,
Or even with Vastra, like, you bellowed?
exactly. Why did you bellow if you were not ready yet? He's so annoyed. Oh man, they're so good together. I hope they continue to make these. And
Forever.
I fortunately we've seen a few of them do live action stuff on other projects, so I'm glad they're all working. And I don't know why they're not getting more work, because I think all three of them are so solid they should be in everything.
Well, we saw what Nev McIntosh recently, last year, in All Creatures Great and Small, and she was wonderful in that episode, and that she appeared in, and then you see Dan Starkey all the time, and anything British, Dan Starkey's bound to pop up. Look for a short person, you'll see Dan Starkey.
And apparently Catherine's been doing some work. Nothing that I'm super familiar with, but I did see on her IMDb that she's been in stuff in the last couple of years. So I'm glad for that, because I think they're all really solid.
They're all very talented. All right. 1 out of 5 TARDISes, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Dave, you're our guest.
I give it 3.5. And I think if it had been tighter with the flashbacks format,
Right.
I think I could see myself giving this a 4 or 4.5. The stories themselves are solid, but I'm gonna as a whole, I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's totally fair. All right, Mary.
I think I'm going to give it a 4. I mean, I really like the 3 stories. I think the sewer one is the weakest one also, but it's still a good story. But I'm taking a point off because I'm not such a huge fan of the overarching theme that they're weaving through these first 2 box sets. Maybe it'll be better in the third one, but they're good, solid stories, and I would highly recommend people listen to them. And also, the sound effects are great. The music is great. I'm not a fan of them doing the electronic voice thing on the Silurians. I wish they had left that out.
Yes.
Yeah, but overall, great. Another great series from the Paternoster Gang, and so happy that we got to listen to it.
Me too. All right, Mel.
I'm going to give it a 4 as well. It was really fun to listen to. I listened to it twice because I just enjoyed and then caught other little nuances that I didn't catch the first time, especially with the Lady Anne, or the mother, saying back and forth between the Warrington, whoever and then the father, and how she's going in the conversation and she's not missing a beat who she's talking about, that those are 2 different people, but Anne's going to easily think it's the same one person, father, blah, 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 blah. So thought that was really, really just tightly, really well written. And to Mary's point, the production value with the music and everything and the sound effects and all that kind of fun stuff. While some points I'm like, a little modulation wise, that's why I'm not giving it like a 4.5 or maybe even a 5. Man, with the pocket dimension going, blah, blah, blah,
Yes.
and then it goes, and then Strax with, maybe I should pick the tongs up first. Just timing everything. I highly, really, really recommend it. If you can just, get this and listen.
Yep. Enjoy when you get a chance, folks. It is totally worth it. And you know what, folks? I'm going to do a 4 also. Almost gave it a 4.5 because of Tom popping up. But, I'm going to stick with a solid 4, and it's a very high 4. So definitely a good way to start 2026. A great episode of Big Finish. And you know what? It won't be another year till we record the next part, because I want to find out what happens, to this one. And there's so many other Big Finish coming out that, we got to get going on. We got to go back to the 9th Doctor. And, I'm thinking we might even need to do a Jodie episode. I think, I would love to hear how her Big Finish is, because no Chibnall involved, so it's a good thing.
Wow, we made it a long time before the Chibnall bashing this time.
Who had 45 minutes into the episode? So, yeah, I think it's pretty awesome, folks. And we definitely would love to hear from you guys. Feedback at earthstationwho.com. Speaking of feedback, Peter wrote us again, and he wrote about The Awakening. So, Peter said, "Hi, all. Hope everyone had a safe and happy season. I think I had seen The Awakening before, although many years ago, but I agree it was strange. I would say bizarre. The Doctor really needed a communication system with his companions. I thought the Mollis was kind of cheesy. I did enjoy the podcast, though. Hope to see some of you at Pensacon." Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Cool.
Short and sweet, but you know what? That's cool. I think it was cool. So, and you know what? We read the mail and we forgot one person to do his review. Mr. Gordon.
Well,
Silly me. Here's feedback for us. Mr. Gordon. Mike Gordon can be found. He wrote us and he said, "I thought this was great. Howdy." No.
Well, there you go.
Just add a number and we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Enough said. What do you got, Mikey?
I'm going to go 4.5. I can't give it a solid 5 because, there was, it's great and it's fun, but it's not like essential. But for the reason you suggested, Mike, I'm giving it an extra like half because of Tom. Because Tom does make everything better.
He does.
4 makes everything better.
Really does.
And I have to give them credit for not wasting him. Like, it's a big moment. Like for Tom fans, they might pick this up because they're like, "Ooh, I just love everything that, the Fourth Doctor does." And I think they're going to be satisfied with this. Sometimes when you get a guest doctor, it's not as satisfying. So I thought that this one was really, really well done, and Tom was great. And I always give Tom a 5. So 4.5 for me. And we don't have much new Who this year, so there's no excuse for not spending a little bit more time with Big Finish.
Nope, definitely. Give some Big Finish love, and it's totally worth it. And they have some amazing sales going on right now, so definitely check it out. And you know what? As Mike said, he wrote us and said, this was a great episode, and I love you guys, and I want to be doing this podcast forever. So it's always nice when Mike Gordon writes us. So it's a good thing.
I'm glad you got the email.
I am, I check my email during the show. It's, multitasking because, I'm riveted to everything you guys say. It's awesome. So I think that's going to wrap up our episode for tonight. Dave, thank you so much, sir, as always, for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love it. And hopefully when you do part 3, I'll be back again. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I think there's a good chance. We'll see.
Melody says no.
Melody says no. Yeah, Melanie's giving the.
I have to ask Dave, are you compelled to listen to the first volume now?
I am.
Okay.
Definitely.
Gotcha. I just didn't know if it won you over and you want to know more.
It's interesting.
I definitely want to.
Because Mike, how you said, Tom was used really well in this. I don't think because McGann was in part 1 as the 8th Doctor, and he was forgettable in the storyline. He wasn't even really all that
clunky. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, the Tom part was better than the McGann part.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll have to see what they do with the 2nd Doctor in the next storyline. Be very curious to see. All right, let's thank our regulars for being here. So I don't forget him this time. Mr. Mike Gordon, thank you for joining us tonight.
And as always, even if I'm forgotten, it's still my pleasure.
You are never forgotten, my friend. Just sometimes sleight of mind.
Well, I can understand. With Dave being here, you probably thought somebody was missing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I thought Dave was filling in for somebody again. That's always the case. Anything you want to promote, my friend?
Just the usual stuff. We've got Bat Chums. We're still recording Earth Station, who, of course, with this one, and Dragon Con Report is going to start up in a couple weeks. And oh yes, I do have a new podcast that I'm part of, which we just released our first episode, and I think we're getting ready to do our second one. I think this week, and that is all about all things tiki. And it is called Three Grog Night. And Jen from the Dragon Con Report is a co-host on that, as well as Jonathan Chafin, who is the organizer of Horror and Clay and the Inu Haley event that happens here every year in Atlanta. So we've had a lot of fun so far, and it's just beginning.
That is cool. We'll definitely have a link up to it up on our show notes.
Thank you, sir.
So we will definitely check it out. Let's also thank Ms. Mary Ogle. Thank you as always.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad we're doing the Paternoster Gang Big Finish. It's just been so enjoyable. All of them have been good.
That is awesome. So is your show down in Tallahassee still going on, or is it done?
My show just finished. I just found out that I sold all 6 of the paintings I had in it.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I was pretty happy to hear about it. But yeah, shout out to Lemoyne Gallery, downtown Tallahassee. They are great. If you're ever in Tallahassee, please go see them. They're wonderful people, have a great gallery, great work there.
Fantastic. That is just awesome. Anything else you want to promote?
And you can find my artwork at maryogle.com or on Etsy at eVision Arts.
Excellent. And last but never least, Melanie Dean. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I absolutely adored listening to the Paternoster Gang. I really love these 3, so I'm looking forward to listening to more.
Excellent. And like I said, probably be sooner than later that we listen to part 3. So it should be tons of fun. Where can people find your stuff, Mel?
Right now on Instagram mostly. I've kind of taken a break over the holidays, so I'm going to be gearing back up. You can find me on Instagram mostly at Pieces of Melee or at the full-time job diamondtechcrafts.com or just Diamond Tech Crafts on the socials.
Yay! That sounds awesome. Over on Tales from Hollywoodland, my other podcast that I produce, I will be glad to tell you we are talking, of course, about Hollywood's tough guy. He was a Hollywood's man. We're talking about Robert Mitchum. And it was a fun episode to talk about. And I actually got to learn a bit about the actor and such, more things I had seen him in than I actually remembered. Because when anyone mentions him, I always think of Cape Fear, the original version. And so, he's been in so many other things that I was like, I have seen that. I've seen that. Oh, I saw that. So it's pretty awesome with that. So definitely check it out. Tales from Hollywoodland, wherever fine podcasts are found. And I am also now, for my day job, I am producing a podcast, audio and video for them, for a podcast called Access Matters. It's about documentation in healthcare for anyone who is very at all interested in the excitement of healthcare documentation. So I get to produce that one, and it's fun, and it's part of my day job. So podcasting now during the day for legit stuff. So it also means I get paid to do podcasting now. Yay! So it was about time. So,
only after 20 years.
Exactly. You're getting close. I think I'm 18 years into podcasting now. So I think next year is my 20th year. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. So with that being said, as I get my Geritol out, I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. Please, if you get a chance, like and subscribe. Yes. We thanked him. He's the very first person I thanked for being here.
I thought it was me.
No, he said thank you. I didn't promote anything, but he didn't say thank you.
I did.
Then we sidetracked off to do I want to listen to episode 1 or
exactly.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yes.
I wanted to make sure that nobody else was forgotten, especially you, Dave.
No, and
unforgettable. It's okay.
Everyone's forgettable. So
nobody always forgets about me.
That's Almost feel like that's going to become a Simple Mind song now. All right. So if you get a chance, if you like this kind of nonsense, please like and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. If you feel generous after the holidays, please sign up for the ESO Patreon, where this episode goes live 24 hours after we record it. And you get also 48 hours before the rest of the world. So it's pretty cool stuff. And it's only $1 a month. Please help and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. And also, of course, if you get a chance, join our Facebook group where you can find all kind of geeky Doctor Who stuff. And, you know, finally, when Doctor Who is announced in the next 20 minutes between the land and the lore, between the land and the sea, you know, we basically will be posting up there. We'll make it up there. So definitely check it out. We definitely would love to hear from you guys. Until next time, on behalf of Mike Gordon, Melanie Dean, Mary Ogle, and of course, Dave Chapman, the rat hole himself. We will see you all soon here on Earth Station Who. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a sweet one for us all. And we will see you soon. Alan Z. Peace, and we are done. Bye, everybody.
You have been listening to Earth Station Who, a pop culture podcast dedicated to all things Doctor Who, featuring talents from throughout space and time. All topics on the show are the sole opinions of the individuals and are to be used for entertainment value alone. You can subscribe to our show wherever fine podcasts are found, or check out our website, earthstationwho.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and if you enjoyed the show, please write to us at feedback@earthstationwho.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next journey of Earth Station Who.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.